I do believe we are live. So I'll say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution. This is my niece. I found out yesterday I'm an uncle.
Yeah.
This is my niece. Her mom was like my pseudo babysitter for great many months of my life. I remember those times fondly. I mean, I forget those times fondly, I should say instead. Most of it is missing. It is dance day, and I invited her to dance with me, and she opted in. So, without further ado, thank you for dancing with me, friends. Sending your lovin's. Let me get the framing right, and then we can. There we go.
Wanneer is het net asemhaling?
Let's do it.
Als je ordentelijk wil asemhalen, dan is het super bang. Ja, maak je longen op. Zie?
This next track is gonna be nostalgia filled. Stay in your lane, man. I'm getting told to, bro. So, what do you call that? Disco. Okay, we know. I disco dance. Are you ready for the next one? I'm blue. I am wearing blue today. Let me see if I can get my scarf wet before my muziek. Maybe I need a breath. Hey, Zana. Luke is here too. Dan, of course. There it is. Last drop. Last drop. Our internet is doing its thing again.
McDonald's Wi-Fi.
I am blue. Dabba dee dabba die. Dabba dee doo.
Is jij blauw gloedje?
I just want my music to play. The track is basically over. Cytrons 1, classical dancing style 0. And the game called Control. I know Control. It's a good one. All thinking together for two. Love is true. This track is a really long intro, so I'm gonna skip a part of it. I know it's sacrilege, but bear with me.
Fogo na bomba, bola na brasa, faia na vela, rapá. A brisa que sobe, a ideia que foge, a letra não pode escapar. Deus pega nessa ponta que o back já tá pra acabar. Deus pega nessa ponta que o back já tá pra acabar. Fogo na bomba, bola na brasa, faia na vela, rapá. A brisa que sobe, a ideia que foge, a letra...
Bro.
não pode escapar. Deus pega nessa ponta que o back já tá pra acabar. Deus pega nessa ponta que o back já tá pra acabar.
Dude, stop! Please, it's just music. This is not cool, yo. It's not cool. Come on. Stop. Let's see if that works.
Fogo na bomba, bola na brasa, faia na vela, rapá. A brisa que sobe, a ideia que foge, a letra não pode escapar. Deus pega nessa ponta que o back já tá pra acabar. Deus pega nessa ponta que o back já tá pra acabar. Fogo na bomba, bola na brasa, faia na vela, rapá. A brisa que sobe, a ideia que foge, a letra não pode escapar.
enough. Are you not entertained? Let me get myself set up. Hot damn. That was a lot. Oh. My feet up with me. Of course. We did get it today. Bleeding feet are to be expected. Oopsie. Sorry for dropping you. Sorry for dropping you to my middle microphone. I'm so sorry. We're set up. Put your hands here. That doesn't seem very balanced. Better. Sorry for the close POV. This is a Rockstar game, not Bethesda. Rockstar does not miss a good old Rockstar. Are you talking about GTA 6? It's probably going to be a big game. I mean, games are going to keep growing, no matter which franchise bring them out these days. Oh man, I'm kind of wrecked. I feel super spent. That's a good thing. Oh, goodness. I am returning. Momentarily. Did I just leave my cup somewhere? I did. All of my consciousness is in my body right now. I have to channel it all the way back up into my brain, Titan style. Whew. Alrighty, petite. I'm here. Thank you, dear friends, for awaiting me. Yeah. We are ready to stream. And the human melts. No, my sister, I invited her and Vessel to dance with us, but none of them seemed too keen. And when I invited my cousin, she was like, yeah, let's do it. I am professionally trained, and she told me about all of the dance styles she was trained in. So I asked her to let me know what my style is in that case. So I learned something new today. I apparently dance disco. I am a disco dancer, which kind of checks out. It checks out. It makes sense. Disco dancing it is. Let me disconnect this. Okay. So many comments, but I can see all of them at least. Amy, bless you. It's nice having you here too. I see Jarviv and Duck Dad and Lozana and Kristen and Jovan and Luke and Sam and Dan and Zano. And that's all for now. Nope, there's Melita too. Blessings to all of you friends. So nice having you. How are you? Hanging in there, hopping in the shower to get ready for Doug's first Christmas recital. Bless you, bro. I'm happy that you're going to be there for that. Today's stream topic is about hope. We're going to do a talk about hope. Beloved Joyviv recommended we talk about that today. So we'll do so. And I've been thinking about how I'm going to talk about hope. Like, what angle am I going to take with the whole hope conversation? And the closest thing I could get is just the hope for the future, as we tend to do in this stream. Specifically, financially being hopeful for the future, right? I believe that not only is there hope for the future, but there's going to be more finances to be hopeful of, right? Like one of the things we're worried about is inflation and all of the bullshit we're faced with right now, where I believe the future is we're going to get it with blockchain, with genome editing, with AI, with robotics, with so much of a plethora of new pieces of technology kind of like developing at the same time. So much net worth, so much value is going to come online over the next few years. And I feel that's something to be hopeful of, right? We can all be hopeful that the future is going to be better instead of worse. I mean, if you look at the trajectory of humans, that tends to be the case. We do have like a cyclical, like the fourth cycle kind of thing as well. The four cycles of like catastrophe, and then an age of peace, and then an age of collaboration, and then an age of falling apart a little bit, and then an age of catastrophe, and then cycling back and forth. Where I believe that kind of kept happening because of the one generational aspect of being humans. We only lived that long, and as these generations keep getting passed on, generations forgot how bad things were, and then they end up repeating the same stupid things. Where that used to be the case with our old human beings, I don't think that's going to continue being the case of us having access to the internet in the way that we do right now. Because one, we have access to each other's suffering, and two, we have access to these patterns, right? We can see how we've been making the same mistakes over and over again. And then the third one, this is the one that I actually think there's the most reason for hope for, is we live now in an age where we can create infinitely more wealth than we've been able to doing so in the physical realm of existence. Where in the physical world, for you to build wealth, you had to accumulate either very valuable parts of that earth, like the gold you can extract from ore, or you had to build something extremely valuable on that land, but you would need gold in the first place to be able to build that thing that is valuable on that piece of land, and you can generate value like that. Where with the internet, our ability to generate value is one, exponential because it's infinite. You can keep creating new spaces on the internet, if you will. And two, it's quicker, right? If I, for instance, build a house in the internet space, it can take me a day, where it might take months or years to do so in the physical realm of existence, right? So that kind of like time frame collapse. And then to think of like this cycle that we kind of keep going through, where we end up bombing each other, or invading each other's land and killing one another, as a resource problem, right? Like every single time we ended up going out there is because we created this sense of lack in our own mind. Like there's something out there, an experience to be had out there, and the only way for me to have that experience is for me to take that, right? To take that experience, or to take that space, or to take that world, so that I can have that experience. Where with the internet, all of us have access to these experiences, right? No matter where you live. Technically, it might be a little bit difficult in China, unless you have a VPN or whatever, right? For you to access this space. You can access this space anywhere in the world. And I believe that is pretty magical. I have strawberry sour diesel and strawberry runs. A little bit of strawberry runs and a little bit of strawberry sour diesel in here. Which should be enough for like at least 3 little bowls. No, 2, it seems. But these are my favorites, I have found out. The strawberry sour diesel tastes amazing. It tastes like strawberry yogurt in a weird way. That creaminess of the yogurt, and that's almost like a little bit of a, I don't know, like artificial creamy like strawberry flavor. It is absolutely amazing. It's nice to have you friends here with me. Let the open chat again. I'm pretty far behind on comments, so please do bear with me as I slowly but surely reach you, friends. Mhm. That should be enough. I just, at least it was a very small piece, but got a piece of butter on my nose. Not fun. Hmm. Kristen, super early meetings. Good morning to you. So much love and to all of you friends. Dan, Darkling is totally learning the layout of the New York from Spider-Man game. That Central Park is that way, duh. If it's super early, if it's super early, you can probably just pop up a pillow with makeup on it in the camera and just keep the meeting, Kristen. Everybody's gonna be like, I see face, I see, yeah, it's probably a person, move on. Oh, that game is like a mini version. It's like ultra compressed New York City. I can't wait to see Rockstar's version of South Florida with the new GTA game, right? It's probably gonna be a whole vibe. Spider-Man was great. I feel like I finished it fast though. I wish there was more. I beat Spider-Man 2 and immediately went back to the first game and Miles Morales. Couldn't get enough of the Spider-Man. I agree, I'ma die. All of us are gonna die probably, bro. Some of us sooner than later, some of us later than sooner. All of us eventually. So we might as well celebrate being alive right now. Isn't it great to be alive right now? To breathe air right now, to be able to dance and listen to music and have conversations with friends and hear the birds as they sing and hear the cows as they moo and feel the crisp crunch of an apple when you bite into it. Damn, how grateful can we be? Love is true. Please allow me hope. Hope for the future. Hope for this present moment. Hope for the next few seconds that it's going to get only better. Love is true. Thank you, friends, for joining me. Let's try some of this strawberry sour diesel and strawberry runs mix. I'm curious to see if combining strains is gonna make a difference. Bruh. Mmm. Yeah. It's absurd to me that something can taste that way. Like another way to articulate it is like if you had a strawberry milkshake and there was a bit of milkshake left in the straw, and then you sucked on that straw and the air that passed over the milkshake, the way that air would taste, that's how this tastes. Right? And I know you think this guy's joking. No. I mean, obviously, there's a little bit of like a herbal, you know, back into it, but it's kind of absurd. It makes me very sad that I only have a single gram of the strawberry sour diesel. Like, feels like no, I have little nugs of gold, and it looks bad. Like I think that's the thing that's the most surprising. Aesthetically, bag appeal, right? Looking at that bud, it's like doesn't look that fantastic. And then you taste it, and it's like, oh wow, it could look worse. And if it tastes like this, I'd be okay with it. I finished another game, Control. That's a pretty cool one as well, where random objects is suddenly imbued with chaos energy. A fridge can suddenly kill you. They're both great, and they see how the whole thing came together too. I haven't played any of them, unfortunately. I last console we had in our home was the PlayStation 3, I believe. God of War, check it. No, I don't think so. I think God of War would still be pretty sick. Such a thing like GTA 4, great game, but at this point it's kind of dated. Yeah, that is true. I mean, I went back to The Witcher 3, and even though that game is pretty dated at this point, it's still a very good game. Of course not. But if my little cousin was like, should I play GTA 4? I'd be like, nah, play 5. Yeah. If my little cousin was like, I want to play GTA 4, I would be like, nah, play something else. I don't know what little cousin in my mind means like 9-year old. I don't know if I want my 9-year-old cousin playing GTA 5. No, just like a little bit of a yikes, minor yikes. I appear and the music stops or just drops. Love to you. Oh snap, read my mind. Just wait for Zig's Merc. Will come out. Will come out. It's true. April 2025, bro. I don't know if I'll be able to play games at that point. Let's see. Maybe I'll have more time on my hands. Maybe I'll have to play games. I'll believe it when I see it. Same Sam. They already announced it. That is also true. The game is definitely coming. It's just a matter of time now. Elder Scroll is gonna be on Xbox though. I mean, Elder Scrolls was on Xbox, wasn't it? Skyrim. Skyrim definitely was on Xbox. I played most of my Skyrim on Xbox. I'm still trying to cope and move on with my life, Zano. We're PS5 people. There's like less than no way hubby will tolerate a shit box in the house. Like my mind is playing like sad like music, you know. I'm imagining an Xbox having like a Viking fireboat burial after that comment from Sam. Absolutely devastated. PS5 plus a gaming PC, that's all you need. Yeah, and then eventually plus a VR headset. And then all you need is a 0G wire calibrated tracksuit. And then all you need is wire calibrated, but also inverted, small little finger sensor so you can have haptic feedback. That's all you need, right? And then all you need is now the new cybernetic implant that could directly jacks into your central nervous system so it feels more real than real life. That's all you need. That's I'm kind of joking, but also I'm hopeful that that's how it's going to happen. I'm going to cybernetic jack in myself probably. I'm going to try and make the best of it, right? Like I'll do it and I'll give you friends my honest feedback. Be like, yo, being cybernetically jacked in comes with its drawbacks. I'll be honest with you, friends. Be like, yeah, and then I'll be like one of those guys that's like, oh, what's my biggest weakness? Probably that I'm too amazing of a person. Yeah, everybody else hates me because of how amazing I am. That's probably my biggest weakness. I hope not. That's the biggest thing that Christian is scared of. He's scared that I'll become a cyborg, and I'll also become like a cybernetic asshole. That's actually the biggest problem we'll face. We won't face Terminators. We'll just face assholes, like we have our entire existence. That's just going to be the new reality. And then again, the only antidote to assholism is love, right? Try love instead of asshole. It's gonna be better, I promise. I don't know you at Costco in Canada. I didn't either actually. Offered me a free Xbox just to switch to. The problem with that is that I own an Xbox and I'll be out of that money I could use to start a fire to keep me warm. I have a MacBook. I'll probably play it on that and break it. I mean, MacBook, like I feel like there's this weird, almost like joke happening in chat right now, where our beloved Dan is like, all you need is a PlayStation 5 and a gaming PC. And then Zana was like, I have an Xbox and a MacBook. Does that count? And all of the gaming snobs snares goes like, no, no, it's not good enough. That's not the same. Your MacBook is not the same. Just giving them away. Uh, I hate the console wars though. Why can't shit just be available for everything, yo? Yeah, I mean it's walled gardens, right? Like Apple did it so well that everybody else is like, oh wow, Apple is making lots of money. Wall gardening, I guess we'll do the same. Well, missed the whole song and dance because Doug was like, Joe sick. Now my time to escape. I hope these critters go easy on me for the rest of the day. Love to you, dear Jovan. I hope that your animals are chill as well. Sending you blessings. We're right here with you. I'm so sensitive these past 2 days. So hard to let yourself feel everything at once at times. Let yourself feel exactly as much as you need to, maybe. Have hope. Have hope that your tolerance for feeling things will grow. Maybe that's the right thing I'm supposed to say right now. You'll be fine. We're here with you, dear Malia. He's locked up in my heart and can't escape no matter how hard he tries, that little rascal. Mel, I heard you're into Spyro. I just brought Melita the trilogy on PS4. I hope she digs it. Yes, I heard like that. I hope she likes it. And that you can show her the classic version as well. Music in Spyro is so comforting for a creative kid. She's going to be in her zone in that case. I'm pretty sure I bought the classic version though. I think so. I think you probably brought like the classic version but remastered for PS1. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of a tall ask. Cause like, oh y'all, you're gonna show your kids Spyro and then remastered on PS4. Be sure to show them the PlayStation 1 game on the PlayStation 1. I think we still have a PlayStation 1. I don't know if it still turns on though. Right? How many PlayStation 1s are there in the world that still turns on? That's the real question. 1998, the year of my birth as well. How about that? I so dearly love you all. Please say hi to Simon for me if he drops by. May you have the most amazing, beautiful, compassionate, delightful, energizing, fantastic, grandiose day full of love and hope. Thank you, dear Kristen. We hope the same for you, dear friend. Well, I gotcha. One day I'll figure out emulators and I'll get that old stuff. Yeah, that's actually true. I think, didn't they create like is it for the PS5? Was there an intention to create like backwards compatibility where the PS5 could like play all of the other games like an emulator or something? Newer version is clunky, so the older version has worse graphics, but mechanically is a lot better. And the original spirit is better captured in that version. Even though I get that, I feel you are biased, Melita. And I see Melita being like, yeah, what do you want to say? Melita is also a professional Spyro absorber, right? Melita has absorbed more than all of us, probably combined, right? Like, let's think about it that way. Think about it like from a perspective of hope as well, right? I would hope that Melita has a good opinion on Spyro because of how much professional Spyro, like speed runs and stuff that she's absorbed. And in that kind of world, remastering a game and giving it better graphics, but worse, as she said, mechanics, like the way you press the button and the way your character acts on the screen so you can make certain jumps and you can maneuver in certain ways in your digital world. Then mechanics, is a lot more important than anything, right? You can have like potato graphics. It doesn't matter if the mechanics are good. However, and this is where the bias comes in, for a 4-year-old, especially growing up in the year 2023, graphics are probably going to be more important to her than they would be to the professional players. And the mechanics are probably going to be less noticed, right? Like input lag is going to be bigger from brain to hands than it's going to be from hands to screen. I remember like so beautifully playing racing games with my dad as like a 6-year-old and turning my entire controller, right? Like you're pressing the right or left buttons, but you're like freaking turning that controller of yours. It's hilarious. Doesn't make your card turn more, but you still did it. Love is true though. Thank you for being here with me. Drinking strawberry lavender. Oh, of course you are, Melita. Maybe I was tasting some of that as well. Like it tastes amazing. I've never like. It tastes so amazing that I added it to my wants of strains. Like I want to grow this bud myself, and if I can get something that tastes remotely, if it tastes half as good as that, I don't know if I'll smoke anything else. Like I've been almost like raised on like the lemony weeds, like the limonene strong stuff. I don't know what's in that, but the flavor, it makes me defensive. Like it makes me defensive in a way where I want to offer my dad some of that bud so he can taste, but at the same time I don't want to give him any because then I have less. And I'm like, bruh, that's selfish. Share some of this absolutely delectable bud with your dad. And I'm gonna share with him tonight. I want to see his face when he tastes that. It's so surprising to me. Mm-hmm. Sounds nice, Joe, but you're sick. I lost my taste last night. Oh, I don't know why, Joe, but the way I absorbed your message the first time is that you're doggo. And then it's because my dog was like, Joe's sick. Now my time to escape. Now's my time to escape. Okay. Yeah. For some reason I misinterpreted. I'm so sorry, Joe. I think I didn't know, but I didn't know it got any worse. Bless you. I hope you feel better soon. I hope you're resting right now. Maybe just being calm. You have to go into work. I don't know if you can take any more time for yourself. That was my jam as a kid. I didn't get to play the Sega. My first console. My dad bought me a PlayStation 1 when I was like 7 months old or something like that. It was my dad's PS1, of course, but he bought it for me, so that was like my first console introduction. It finally got cold enough that I had to break down and wear socks this morning. What a sacrilege. Look out for the wet spots, dear Joe. Yeah, COVID. I know. I hope not. I hope not as well, yeah. Socks of Crocs. Sega Pico. Kids Computer Pico. An educational video game console by Sega Toys. No, don't know that one. That one's 4 years before I was born. White tube socks and flip flops, camouflage cargo. Sounds like a lovely taste. It's great. Absolutely fantastic. I think it's like that do with the mix as well. Like it was different than either of them taste alone. I think like they have different ratios of whatever compounds it needs to contain to get that strawberry taste, and like mixing the two definitely added a little bit of depth to it. Nobody had it. I have no idea where my dad could have got it from. Got it, but it was my first system. Then my older cousins gave me their NES. That's so cool. I think Sour Diesel was my first strain I ever smoked. Weirdly enough, Lemon Haze and Sour Diesel were the very first strains I ever smoked as well, Joe. They came together. I bought my first ever weed. I wanted to make brownies with them, to sell. And the first two strains that I bought bulk of was Sour Diesel and Lemon Haze. And the Sour Diesel gazoinked me for I think something like 4 hours. Like 4 hours later, I was still completely blazed. I've never had an experience like that since. It was a lot. It's cold enough that I'm lighting a fire today. Midday non-fire coming up. That sounds kind of cool, bro. I've never. No, that's a lie. I think I've seen a few midday fires. Like with a few, like I can count all of the midday fires on like one hand. The first weed I ever smoked was just cold weed. You're like, what is that? It's weed. But what strain? Weed strain. The strain of weed that is weed. It's still dark out and I'm pouring rain and I'm cozy and warm with Koji on the couch having coffee. That does sound super nice, actually. PS1 is more likely to turn on than the PS2. That is actually true. I feel a PS1 is more likely. I like how we have two. Yeah, Jigs, there it is. Official official Spyro absorber. Just buy all the Raspberry Pis on the same frequency, Joe. But I've graduated to the coolest of cool kids frequency. Share the butt of your dad and then get him to buy it. When it's time to re-up, he won't. He won't. Like, there's no way that he would pay that much. Because it's like a bottle of wine a gram, right? Technically. Papa, wat kost 'n bottel wyn? Wat papa sal drink? Nee, wat papa sal drink? Ja. Dag. Ja, ek sê vir hulle ek wil papa van my bad gee. Daar so is 'n tikkie bad wat ek het wat strawberry diesel genoem word. En as jy dit rook, proe dit asof jy deur die strooitjies suig van 'n strawberry milkshake wat jy gedrink het. En dan daai strawberry romerige smaak. Dis hoe dit proe. En toe sê ek het net 1 gram daarvan. So ek wil dit op 'n deel, maar ek voel dit so lekker. Ek wil dit nie deel nie. En toe sê hulle vir my, gee deel dit papa, dan gaan papa vir my nog wil koop. Toe sê ek vir hulle, ek dink nie so nie, want dan kos 1 gram soveel soos 2 bottels wyn. Speaking ridiculous. Ja, but maar ek sal vir verdeel daarmee. Ek sal vanaand pappa, is baie lekker. That is keen. And it's like $80. $80 for like a bottle of wine that dad would buy himself. So it's about 2 bottles of wine for a single gram of that bud, which is kind of rough. Hmm. Hey dad, we're out of pot. Yeah, Joy, I wanna be there for that conversation. Yeah, he's probably not going to go for it. It tastes like a strawberry milkshake. Yeah, I mean, I said like in the same translation, like, you know, sucking the air through the straw of the strawberry milkshake you just finished, right? Like that flavor that you get. I'm looking for my Trex Christmas sweater to no avail. Bless you, brother bear. I really do not enjoy the energy of looking for something, right? I had that experience yesterday. Dad asked me to smoke a little bit, brought him some bud, and then put all of my stuff down on that little chair, and then my lighter just disappeared. And then I started looking for it, you know, kind of in like this state of like, the fuck, dude. I like had my lighter with me, and then it rolled underneath my yoga mat that's hanging over the chair. So it was just like obstructed from our field of vision. The grinder and the little vaporizer was there, but couldn't see the lighter. And like just this experience of like, bro, am I losing my mind? Where could it be? Why am I having a hard time finding it? All right, I have a random story for this morning. Please do share. I decided that I'm finally going to write the negative Glassdoor review for my former employer. Let's see how this is going to turn out. I'm looking forward to the story. Hey, Toast. You like missed a little bit of the previous story we shared, but I have a little bit of strawberry sour diesel as well. And last night was the first time that I properly tried some of it. And I've said it now a few times, and I have a little bit of it here as well. I have like another bowl's worth that I can pack a little bit later. Smoking it or vaping it tastes like the air you would suck through the straw of a strawberry milkshake that you just finished, right? Obviously, with like the herbaliness, you know, that THC kind of smoke like taste as well, but it tastes amazing. So amazing so that if I can grow myself some of that stuff and it tastes half as good as what that tastes, I don't think I'll smoke anything else. I grew up, I mentioned as well, with the lemonine stuff, like all of the lemon type, you know, lemon haze, like the hazy type of wheat strains, and I really enjoy them. But I feel like there's like a whole world, you know. I feel like the Hobbit. I've been like the Hobbit equivalent of a weed smoker, you know, and I've just been living in like my little burrow of lemonine wheat strains. And now I want to go on an adventure, and I have been going on an adventure in the last what 2 months. Yeah, a little bit less. In the last 2 months, I've tried lemon cheesecake, which was amazing. Also a lemonine, you know, heavy strain, and I love it, and I like that strain as well. You know, definitely find some of that. But lemon cheesecake, the soap. Then we got mimosa with like Yuhan, some blueberry, some Skywalker OG, and was there another one? I'm not sure. And this time I have White Rhino, I have Strawberry Runts, which are amazing. I have Wonka Bars, which is amazing. I have Point Break, which is my favorite. I am very surprised. That one I think is my favorite. Then the Strawberry Sour Diesel, Amito or Amino. I think it might be Amito Sours, which is also really nice. And then the Coffee Breath. That one I think is the one that I like the least, weirdly enough. But it's been very illuminating to learn more about myself as I learn about these, you know, compounds as well. I feel like you friends have like a bunch of wisdom on me, especially you friends living in America with like the access to good bud that you've had for so long. I'm catching up slowly but surely, learning. Yeah, the first weed I smoked was just some random bud that someone grew. There weren't names down weed other than regs, mids, and crypto. The world opened up when you realized that there were names. Yeah, dude, like for me, I'm kind of there right now. Like I feel like it's still not like in comparison to what I've seen you friends have access to in America, our stuff isn't even close to there. But I feel like we're finally at least growing strains, right? Like we at least have access to the seeds with weed being decriminalized in our country. The seeds, at least our access to seeds, kind of exploded. So there's at least good weed being grown right now. But the processes, the hanging, the heat, the temperature controlling, the insects, that's still a little bit difficult for us to get perfect. Maybe if they make it commercially viable to actually grow bud, we'll have like a whole explosion like you friends in America had to. Oh, no, 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 no. I have totally had the "Hey mom, we're out of pot" conversation many times with my mom, actually. What a lucky JV you are. What I mean, in my house, I'll post on Discord General. I've had it for years. Says Duck Dad. Did I miss a comment before that? Let me switch to all messages. Added for many years. Okay, I'm not sure. I realized when I'm searching for them that my old company, Team Mobot, which has a 1-star rating, has all their job listings under a different company, Mobot, an e-bike company from Singapore that has a shining 4.4 rating. That's so scummy, bruh. Yo. So my old employer is posting job listings under a different company with the same name so they can avoid applicants finding out that they are actually a 1-star company. Yeah, that's pretty revealing, bruh. I'm happy that you're no longer working there in that case, man. Goodness. That's like scum. Scum, 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 scum. So much scum, layers of scum, bro. How's the baby? Thank you for asking. Do let us know about the toast. Doc, did you check the driveway or garbage for your sweater when you found your jeans the other month? Little red crumb. I like that one. So cute. Grumbles going back. Disrespect for the butt in the past was a sad time. Yeah, like at least this is where I'm absorbing disrespect for bud as like you have like all of this like fresh, maybe even like beautifully cured bud, and then it gets like vacuum packed and like brick compressed into like these logs. That's like disrespect. That's like extreme disrespect. The crouton, little crouton. Zoink Scoop, where did you get all of those trains? All of them from like one of like the first two, the soap and the Francis's lemon cheesecake. I got that from a club. Then the mimosa, the blueberries, and the Skywalker OG. Like for some reason, I feel like there's a third one. Is there a third one? No, I don't think so. I got from another club, a club that Johan is at. And then now this third round with all of the new ones. I got, again, Point Break, Coffee Breath, Strawberry Runs, Wonka Bars, which is amazing. The Wonka Bars are so good. Then the Strawberry Sour Diesel, the Amarillo, I think it's Amarillo Sours, maybe. Amito Amarillo Sours. And then Java or JB Space Cakes or something like that. JB Space Cakes, which feels good but doesn't look good either. Like it's an interesting one. Like I think it's like clubs, like people who have access to the clubs are the ones who have like the good bud right now. My man Panyan has been getting some more cherry flavored ones. He made some 20 milligram chocolate cherry truffles for my mom. She takes 2 at night for bed. I was about to say she has high tolerance, like 40 milligrams of edibles to go to sleep. That's like getting zoinked, yo. I just now caught up, bro. You gotta expose those people. Yeah, 100%, right, Sam? I don't have the self control to have multiple strains sitting on a shelf. I mean, I think it helps having only like 1 gram of it. And I measured actually, this chamber of mine takes between 0.07 and 0.01. No? 0.07 and 0.1 grams in a bowl, roughly. So I can get about 10 or so, 10, 11 bowls out of a single gram, right? So that's like my use case. So in that perspective, it's a little bit more worth it for me. And it also helps to be a little bit more conservative because you can kind of like get away with a little bit. Found it. It's an actual closet. Joy. Love is true. I heard your comment to my wife and she says, Joy, we've nailed it. Love is true. I reported the listing on Glassdoor and I emailed the e-bike company explaining the situation. Good. I have jars of weed and I smoke them. I remember them fondly when they aren't here anymore. I do hang on to any seeds I find, though. I've also been doing so. I planted 5 new seeds today. We'll see if they pop up. I have 6 little sprouts. You want to see my plants? Let me show you, friends. I could feel like yeah, we want to see plants. I'll show you. Let me just finish the comments quickly. I agree, Josh Mo. They're there to be appreciated, right? Like, I mean, in moderation as well. Like, don't speed run smoking all of your bud, but also keeping it for the next 5 years. Over 5 years is not going to be the bud that you kept kind of vibe, right? And then you don't get to smoke the weed that you wanted to keep, even if you did keep it kind of vibe, right? You know what I'm saying. You want to spend your free time fermenting. Yeah, it's your time. I know. Like, I guess that, like, it's the amount of effort. I get the amount of effort you've already put into it, but how much more do you want to do? I'm considering joining as far as emailing the CEO, my former boss, and telling her that I've discovered what they're doing. What's the point that they serve? Leave the review on Glassdoor. Keep looking forward. Why waste energy? Certain Christmas and no one is hiring right now, so I can just do whatever this week. It's growing. Blessings. I took a picture and put it in Discord of me wearing my Christmas sweater. Still fits. He found it. Good. Free time. 2 people who are applying deserve to know. Yeah, they're being lied to. I joined that company because it was a tech startup that offered me lots of experience quick. All that was a lie, and people deserve to know. It's a matter of perspective. I get you, bro. I want to see your plans. Yeah. Workers have power by working together and looking out for each other. There we go. Little Strauss are the best. To do, people. Love is true. I see both of your perspectives. I see JB's perspective of not being willing to do stuff like that and not understanding why you would. And I see your perspective, Dan, of being willing to do that, right? In hopes that you might save someone else the discomfort of having to go through that. So both of you friends have your perspectives. Both of you friends are trying to bring more hope. Hey, Wita. Hello, Mama. You get to see the mess. Yes. Yes, chaos. Yes. Here, look at that little dude. This one got eaten by something, but live. And then here are the new ones I did today. I mixed my soil in that old fridge container. I transferred the one that was in here. It was a little bit too small. I transferred it here. Still, technically, still too small. And then do like stem tests to see which ones are the most stinky. And then maybe like do a pruning session. Maybe all of them will get to live, but if it comes down to like the real effort, you want the strongest ones. Like this one was the first one that got to exist. It was the first one out of the ground. It was the first one to germinate out of all of the seeds as well. These are like a bunch of like small little seeds. I did a round of the seed I had where I basically separated all of the best looking buds, like little seeds, and then all of the bad ones I tried to germinate. And like these little 5 ones came from those. The rest died, unfortunately, though. Oh, or just weren't alive to start with. And like they do look very dry, I know. But it's moist enough down there for them to want to go and look for it. They perform worse being completely sucked. This is like very core heavy as well, though. It's very loose, super loose soil for them while they're babies. Like this one makes me happy because of how purple the stem is. Can we get you to focus, please? Let's do the. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. It's very beautiful. In comparison, this one is not even remotely as purple. They're not dry. Yeah, they're not dry. Believe you me. And they're like really okay with being dry as well. Like these little bud plants, if they get dry, they'll let you know. They'll get like they'll like get like super wilty, and then if you give them water, they'll pop back. But you can see all of them are super hydrated. Don't worry about them. I've done this. I have done this multiple times. Want them to get established first. I want to get maybe bags. That way I could potentially move them. But if it turns out that way, you know, and if I end up moving by the time they're too big for me to actually meaningfully move them, or they're maybe too big for me to, like, if they're so big that their branches are going to like lean out above the car, like the wind will literally kill them, you know, will snap them into pieces as we drive. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe those plants will end up staying here at home, and I'll just restart, you know, like it will be like a shorter grow season. I'll have like, you know, 4 months is more than enough, to be completely honest. The problem is, that it might end up, you know, it's like fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll grow plants, you know, even if they don't end up getting used. They'll sequester carbon or whatever. Workers have power by working together and looking out for each other. Exactly, this is true. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure. You're doing the right thing, Dan. Love is true. I'm about to drop some new sprouts in like 3 weeks. Really? In winter? Or are you doing it indoors? Maybe in Florida it doesn't get that cold. But like we have these frost bouts in South Africa where it gets that's like a snap of below freezing and then things get wrecked. Whatever, Dan. A shitty company will out itself with or without your help. You act like you're some government whistleblower, but whatever is your time. I mean, he's just taking up that role, right? I feel maybe if anything, Dan is showing us a perspective on hope. Joy maybe this is Dan's way of generating more hope from something that technically stole some of his hope. This job, this experience, right? He was promised work experience, he had that hope, and then they utilized his manpower to earn them more money, giving him less in return, right? Stealing his hope from him. And maybe this gives him a sense of hope, of being able to make sure that that doesn't happen to someone else, right? We are talking about hope today. This is a talk about hope, Joy V. So it makes sense to me. Autoflower, space bucket. Yeah, autoflower is a good thing. I think that's what Joe Schmo is probably doing. If so, yeah, he's gonna be super fine. Let me see. No. All right. When can we name them? I mean, you can give all of them names if you want to. But that purple one is the one that I'm kind of fond towards, right? She's very pretty. Like you saw how purple that little stem is. I don't know what's happening there, but seeing it makes my heart go badump. Goes go badump. Mm, are you gonna do any bondage to them? No, I'll probably just do some super cropping, some lollipopping, and just some straight pruning. I don't really do bondage. At least the bondage doesn't help apparently. Like they don't actually like it, especially if you don't have a scrognet. I'm thinking about how I want to do that as well. I'm thinking about like actually setting up like a relatively decent grow setup. Like I wanna grow some bud. Like I wanna do that. We can do 6 plants per person in a household. So that's like 24 plants that I can grow total, which is way too much. Hey, I don't want to do that. 24 plants is like a full-time job kind of vibe. I don't know if I want to do that. But I do want to do a few, maybe 6, maybe 10. 10 only because when you buy the bags online, they come in sets of 5. So maybe like 2 sets of 5, 10 plants. Because then you're also setting yourself up for potential losses. I think I'll have like 24 like babies running, and then do clones, and then have like babies of babies running, and then basically run the plants as adults. Can you do clones of autoflowers, and does it continue to work? I'm not actually sure. Maybe Joshua can let me know. I just had some Mafia funeral RSO. Mafia funeral RSO on a Christmas cookie. It's delightful. That does sound pretty nice. They're not dry. Yeah, they're fine. We call it stress training. Yeah, I'm pretty sure weed bondage is a different thing. The amount of times in an hour that y'all make me audibly crackle would surprise you. Good. Like being able to make someone laugh out loud, audibly crackle is an actual blessing. That stuff is rare. Bless you. We love you, Jovan. Seems Zano and Jovan are occupying the same space of mind right now. They look like they're trying to reach the sun in working order, standing tall. That's a good sign. Yeah. Lovely little pots of potential joy. Are you going to top them? Absolutely. I usually top them around like 4th note growth. So like the plants will come out, and then it has like 2 little leaves, and then those 2 little leaves will go like that, and then 2 little leaves will go growing out like that, and then those little leaves will eventually become little sticks, and then there will be 2 little sticks again, and then there'll be 2 little sticks again, and then there'll be 2 little sticks again, and then I'll cut them, and then they'll be stickity, and then they'll sticky grow, and then I'll top them again. All right. So you're basically building a fractal, and then every fractal iteration that you build onto it becomes new internodal sites, right, where you can have buds spawn. So you can have big fat colas. But this is the biggest problem I keep facing year after year after year. I know how to do all of that stuff. I just don't know how to get my colas from not absolutely snapping off of the branches. That's literally my biggest problem, is the fact that I grow colas so thick that they literally snap each other. Like because of the way I top, because of the 4-4-4, the top is usually like a cross, right? So these branches get so heavy and they pull so much that they literally shear the plant in half. That happened to my big girls last year. It devastated me. Like walking in on your plants, because it happens like overnight, right? Again, with this whole topic, yesterday we talked about how in an instant the bad stuff can happen, right? And it takes months to grow the good stuff. I tend to my plants the night before. I wake up the next morning to go and check on my plants, and then branches, buds, right? Like months of growth, crystal structures completely covered in mud as they dropped onto the floor, and the rain that was falling next to them completely covered them. It's devastating. It hurts so much. not been in that much pain a lot of time. Space bucket is a last case scenario. Space bucket. I don't know what space bucket is. I want to do non-woven bags. I think that's what I want to do. Non-woven 5 to 10 gallon bags. Maybe 10 gallon if I'm going to be stationary. But I think 5 gallon if I want to take any of these plants with me. Right? That's what I'm thinking. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Swamp, no. Humidity domes. I'll need humidity domes. You wanna put humidity domes on my little plants? Mm-mm-mm. Nah, bruh. We live in South Africa here, dude. These plants need to be battle hardened. Like I do that on purpose actually. Like seriously, Doc Dad. Like if you're not going to be arid resistant as a strain, you ain't making it in South Africa. So those little plants need to fight the elements. No humidity domes for them. I've done humidity domes before, and then as soon as I take the humidity dome off, and I know you can taper them, I know, but as soon as I take it off, because they end up like stretching a lot, so they grow like long, and then they're like super flimsy because they didn't get any wind on them. And then on top of that, like as soon as they don't have the humidity, they just that was my impression of dehydrating as a small little sprout. Getting the moisture sucked out of you. Are they feminized? No, they're just bag seed, I believe. If you keep one as a test plant, you can shape them accordingly. Short and stubby, mature plants are awesome. They look like bushes and have huge buds that hang like clusters of grapes on a vine. That's what I think I'm going to try and do with these plants, Brother Bear. That's why I'm thinking 5 gallon bags, right? Like I want them to be very short. I want them to be short enough to be able to be pushed up to the back of the truck, right? So they can have like a little bit of a windshield. Hopefully they don't have thick bud structures at that point, right? Like I don't want my crystals getting shaken off. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Fully mature plants that are chest high. That is, I think, the perfect. Like I've grown literal 3 meter plants. Hey Google, what's 3 meters in feet? I've grown 9 feet plants, 9 feet 10 inches plants, right? And they're a little bit unwieldy. So chest height, mature plants, I think, or chest height while at the end of their flowering, right? I think that would be the better way for me to say it. Because like when a plant starts flowering, it ends up stretching almost, another half of its entire height. So like if it's at the end of its stretch at that height, I think it would be perfect. But again, I'll have to be aggressive, and I mentioned that last time. Like I have to be so aggressive it will cause me, emotional trauma, a little bit pain, to have to cut them like that. Beautiful thing if you have the time and freedom. Yeah. No, I'm not acting like a government whistleblower. I'm acting like a previous employee whistleblower. It's true. Hey Dan, do it, duder. Hope it feels good when you do. You stay honest in how you do it. People are informed, and you can walk away from it so far that it becomes a lesson learned and a vague memory. Yeah. Showing ourselves how to not do things as well when we become employers ourselves. Why do you think companies like Mobot burns themselves out joy? Because people act instead of sitting around and waiting for something to happen. Exactly. They may not like it, but stress makes better, but in moderation. In moderation. You can end up overdoing it as well, but you are right. I do stress my plants a little bit. I'll get them germinated in late January and then transfer them outdoors in February, probably. Yeah, that's when the seasons start turning for me as well, a little bit, right? Hey, I'm all for leaving reviews on Glassdoor. I said that before, but I questioned, was your email was you emailing the CEO to what? Threaten them? What point does that serve? But okay, you do you. Like maybe just asking the questions, right? I'm done talking about it. Good luck. Love is true. Didn't have to be done with it either. It's Scrognet. Nah, February in depth of winter here. Never mind. Yeah, it would. It depends. Like our beloved the Joe Schmoes on Florida side, so it might be a little bit less bad for them. Our final form is Josan Vano. Josan Vano. I feel like Josan Vano sounds like 100% anime, right? Like when Jovan and Zano goes into their final form, it's like anime. You like see two human looking people fusion high and then they turn super anime. And it's just like this anime person in the real world and everybody loses their minds. And then she points at them and goes, I am Jovan Zano. Jo Zanvano. February marks the return of the sun. It's very tropical here. My environment is like a greenhouse for 80% of the year. Sure, you can grow pretty good, but in Florida, in that case, if you have like a humidity resistant, strain, if you do bondage and trimming, it should keep the stalk stronger and spread wide. It's true. Like a bush rather than a tree. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, I do that. I do that. But it is hard for me to do it perfectly, right? Like I'm too sentimental. Like I think I need to be more aggressive, and I'm trying to like hype myself up to be. Yes, I like this. Josan Vano. Yeah, Super Saiyan Fusion, exactly. If you do, yeah, it's not fraudulent to get hired and work under a subsidiary of another company, but good luck for your retribution, Dan. Sorry, your hope, as Mel puts it. Yeah, your hope. Exactly. Space buckets are growing enclosures for minimal spaces, usually apartments. You grow autoflower in a plastic oil drum or something similar. So that size and line is of the proper LEDs. The biggest problem here in South Africa for me, Toast, is electricity. If we had constant access to electricity, I would probably consider it. But that unfortunately has to be a part of my budgeting when I think about growing bud indoor is I'm gonna have to buy batteries and big ones to run, grow lights during the time that I don't have electricity. So that's like a bit of an issue. So even if like I think I am going to do outdoor, outdoor with like mesh wire enclosures around it. Maybe I'll drive droppers into the ground next to my bags, and then I'll put wire around those droppers. I'll figure it out, but it has to be done. Not really into bondage, but in the proper company, I suppose it would be okay. Proper IDs. Enjoy their listing jobs under a company they're not affiliated with. Yeah, I get that. I grow and grew in non-woven bags, 5-gallon bag on the minimal, but I find 7-gallon is the sweet spot on my indoor grows. So in that case, I feel I should probably go for the 10-gallon bags, right? That is probably going to be the best case scenario in that case. At least the way that I'm seeing it right now. Interesting about the humidity dome. You know your region, so I trust you. Yeah. I've done it a few times. I didn't do it last year for some reason. Laze. I just think I was too lazy and not inspired enough. But I found a love for Bud again. Like it's a little bit more romantic again for me, which I like. So I wanna have that dance. Make sure there's no males. Yeah, males is a big problem as well. I don't want seeded bud. I want Sinsemilla. Did you say you feel emotional for abusing the plants when it's young? I mean, yeah, it is like when you cut branches away, like you're like planting this plant and then you're like watching it beautifully grow. And then you're like taking a pair of scissors to it and you're just like snipping branches off, right? And then I'll do that, and I know that I'm doing that for a reason because I'm trying to train my plant and I want it to grow in a certain way. But then I'll stop technically sometimes before I'm supposed to because I'm like, okay, let me leave these branches for you. You've worked so hard in growing these branches. Let me leave some of these fan leaves. You I want you to be full and lush, but that reduces airflow. So it's a whole thing for me. I do enjoy it. It's like therapy in a way. Try not to be a contrarian to anyone who needs to hear that today. Fractal closed. Love is true. Melty, I had a buddy that had a sheet high, like a very high plant that was maybe 3 or 4 seasons old. Goodness. And as big around as a shovel handle at the base. You see a tree. Wait a second. A shovel handle? A shovel handle at the base. Like the thing you would hold. So like the way my mind first interpreted was like the shovel's head, right? Like a plant that was like a unit like this all the way around. But like if it was the shovel pipe is like that thick, I've grown plants that thick at most, I think. Right? Like I couldn't get my hands around them, like units like that. And yours, that one's like a shovel handle, right? So like that thick. Is that the way I'm supposed to interpret it? That's massive, dude. 4 season long. I mean, maybe you can take like a bunch of little babies from that because the shovel handled the base. It never stopped producing, but it got more woody. So like it kept growing buds year after year that you could actually smoke. That is pretty trippy. Chest high. Oh, really? He had a chest high plant that was maybe 3 or 4 seasons old, and it kept producing. That sounds almost magical, bro. I totally forgot about your power grid issues. My bad. No, you don't have to apologize, bro. I thought about it as well, Toast, because like again, the temperature control and like the quality of bud you can get from indoor, and like you don't need a lot with indoor as well. Like if I can get 100 grams of my plant, which is like a tenth to a 20th of what I get from my outdoor grows, I'd still be happy. But I'll have to buy the lights, which is gonna be a few $100s. I'm gonna have to, you know, that's the biggest expense really is the lights. And then if I want to do it properly, get myself a tent or one of those drums. It's still gonna be probably be easier to do it outside. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like to add Zano, like where I feel emotional to like cut my ladies when I notice those little balls of flowers forming on a male plant. I rip that thing out of its bag so quickly that you know it feels the wind flying past it. Like I've killed male plants, very very mercilessly in the same breath. Uh, you got sheet high. Yeah, totally. 10-gallon bags for a wider plant, absolutely. Yeah, especially the outside and like thinking about the wind and stuff. 5 gallons will get you 2 meters high without root binding. Really? Really? 5 gallons will do. Okay. So like 5 gallons is what I was like thinking about, especially since it would be easy for me to move. Right? I think I can still move a 5-gallon bag. It's gonna be like 22 kilograms. Might be more. No, no, it might be less. But 22 kilograms, like that's like a quarter of a person per bag. That I'll be able to move relatively easily. The 10-gallon bags are going to be a little bit bigger, but I can also, and this is what I'm kind of banking on, I can fill my 10-gallon bags only half or only to a third, right? It could also work. No, no, but your comment on 5-gallon bags will get me 2-meter plants without root binding. That's pretty heartening to know. And then, do I do like a very heavy mix of like cocoa core? I'm using a lot of cocoa core in those little germination pots today. I want them to be a little bit more on the airy side for their like initial root development. 10-gallon bags are very good for moisture retention, but you have to be careful when you put a new plant into a 10-gallon bag because people tend to overwater, and that's a lot of water for a plant. Yeah. Fortunately, with those big bags and with the growing medium I want to grow within, it's almost impossible for things to get waterlogged, right? Like it literally is impossible. Like it doesn't have the ability. Like even if it gets like fully waterlogged, it still has like 20% oxygen left within its like structure. For real joy, like what is the problem? In a serious way, has no business being brought up in a convo with my past employer. I hope that all grievances, all needs some time to be a little bit contrarian will slowly but surely get melted away. It's hard to not be emotional about everything we do when we alter the living world. We are interacting with life's natural processes and it weighs on spirit. Yeah. But we're doing so for a reason, right? Like I feel like it's one thing all of us do technically interact with, nature's natural processes, life's natural processes, and it does weigh on us, sometimes and sometimes less. The actions we take as well, like I'm thinking about our vegan friends in the world, for example. However, if you do something mindfully, right? If you eat meat mindfully, if you train your plants mindfully, you know what it is you're doing and why it is you're doing. You're not just, hacking your plants apart of a panga or like of a blade. You're doing it meticulously and with intention. I think there can still be, positive spiritual growth happening. Nancy, blessed to you, friend. Why would you ever think that it's okay? You're just looking for someone or something to blame for your unhappiness in life. I'm sorry I commented. Probably the nastiest thing a person has said to me in this community. Like the width of your wrist, okay. Yeah. That's a good plant size. I don't know either, Dan. I don't know either. Like I didn't really think that anything you said was necessarily wrong. Right? Maybe if anything, there was just this interpretation of what's valuable. Right? Maybe, and this is like the way I'm trying to understand both sides. Maybe Joy Vive sees this this line of pursuit of you trying to, get back at your previous employer as something that can only bring more unhappiness instead of less. Pippi, look at Pippi, gleefully just licking her own hands. Yeah, this tastes great. Oh, I lick my own hands. Yummy, yummy. Oh, no, no, no. I come to this place and share my most vulnerable thoughts, and then you take advantage of that and attack me for a joy. Shame on you. Be angry with. It's me. The bud gets weaker, but it still keeps reducing. Makes sense. It's sad that y'all just sit there neutral. I didn't think I was being neutral. I shared with you, that I don't understand why Joy Vive kind of like went at it the way that she did, right? But that being said, I also don't think it's true necessarily, right? This whole space is here with you, rather than. Like Toasty was very much not neutral as well in his saying, try not to be a contrarian to anyone who needs to hear that today. Right? So it's clear to me that we're not trying to pick sides, because as soon as we pick sides, we create polarity. And the point of this space is that we're a unity. Uh, Telling Joy Vive that she needs to apologize to you, Dan, is being dictator, being authoritarian, which is also not something that we condone in this space. None of us want to be forced to apologize. And even if Joy Vive were to heed us in us forcing her to apologize, that would be the least genuine apology you could get in the totality of that, right? The point of this space is for us to consciously evolve. So today, the lesson was supposed to be hope. And I hope that as we continue showing up, that we will consciously evolve. We will share from our heart into this world, and we will try to grow despite the experience that comes from it. I would like to believe that love is true. That's what I'm showing up for. I'm going to try and love you. And I think that I have for the most part, right? I feel like sometimes there's like tough love mixed into the just straight love and celebrating and being playful with you, right? With like the ideas we share in the space, Dan. But love is true, right? And this experience that we're in right now for Joy Vive, the conscious evolution that needs to happen for her, is maybe acknowledging that saying certain things, especially to someone who might be sensitive in their own journey, is hurtful. Like that's been a very big theme, right? One of the character traits of Joy Vive, the way we know her, is that she says what's on her mind unapologetically, whatever that may be. And unfortunately, that's not always a good thing, especially when, that thing that is on our mind that we say in that moment isn't something that is necessarily something that generates more hope, right? It might reduce the amount of hope we have, the ability for us to see love as true. This is how we grow at the Bear. It's up to you to grow as well, to see someone say something and be able to move past it, to realize and to recognize that just because one person has said that, it doesn't make it true, that there is still a plethora, a whole, fractal of other people who still love you, who still care for you exactly the way that you are. Try not to die on heels that aren't yours, Joy. I don't know if I'm not seeing Joy Vive's comments right now, or if she's deleting them, or if she's not saying something. Love is true. Okay, there we are. Thank goodness. Wrong, the Joy said. Okay, you're all neutral. Like, you can agree or disagree with my choice, with this thing, with my employer, but it's just flat out wrong that Joy said about me now. Dan, we had multiple friends in this space. Sam, for one, Joy B, for one, and me, for one, right? Like 3 people that were like, yeah, Dan, we see what you're trying to do. And if this brings you hope, if this is one way for you to generate more hope in the world by helping another person, then do that. And one person was pushing back, right? They don't see the value in that. Maybe they misinterpreted in this limited medium that is text what your intentions were with this whole experience you're kind of participating within. And within that misinterpretation, said something, right? Maybe sarcastically, maybe with a little bit of like a playful poking, right? Like, hey, silly, why are you doing this? And then that can be misinterpreted. And then we can spiral completely out of control. Love is true. Remind yourself of that. Realize that it's your choice to see the world like that. And if you do, I believe you'll have a more hopeful existence, right? You'll literally live in a space of hope because you believe love is true, right? The world is more hopeful when you believe love is true. Anyone who has never held a dry, massive weed stem from the base is blown away when they realize how light and incredibly strong the stalk is. Very true. 5-gallon bag is probably 30 kilos at most. Yeah, it's like 22 liters, right? So 22 liters, if it was filled with water alone, it would be 22 kilograms. So 30 kilograms at most is about right. Coconut husks. Yeah, like cocoa core as a great medium. That's what I'm thinking, like maybe 50, maybe even higher, maybe even like 60, up to 70% cocoa core, and then maybe doing some soil as well. Everyone here seems uncomfortable just glossing over it. No, I think we like. If you want to go and read the comments where we had friends directly backing you, Dan, let me do it. Let's scroll up. Let me see how long it's gonna take me. No, 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 no. There we go. Jovan says, "Hey Dan, do it, duder. Hope it feels good when you do. You stay honest in how you do it. People are informed, and you can walk away from it so far that it becomes a lesson learned and then a vague memory." Right? Her blessing you on your journey. And then we had Sam. Let's see her message. Sam, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, you're doing the right thing, Dan. And I also said the same to you, right? So, where were we glossing over it, right? Do you want every person, all 14 of us collectively saying, type, tell us the exact sentence you want us to type in chat? It's not how it works, bro. Like, the world is what you believe it to be. You can either pay attention to the multiple people who were backing you, or you can pay attention to the one person who was questioning what you're doing, right? Wasn't trying to attack you. At least I didn't see it that way. I think I missed some of the messages as well. I think some of them might have been deleted, which is also not cool, right? If the message is bad enough that you want to delete it, right? If it's trying to hurt another person, then maybe it wasn't supposed to be sent in the first place, right? Read it through. Ask yourself, is love true for this message I'm sending? That is technically the community rules as well. No, no, right? See, bro, I have seen plenty of plants get overwatered in grow bags, maybe less where you are. Yeah, with the humidity. Yeah, we have like 20 pages to say personal attacks are not tolerated here. I feel like it's clear, dude. It's very clear. That's not something we tolerate. That's not something we're celebrating. We're not being like, go Joy Vive. Fuck Dan up harder. You didn't see any of us do that, did you, bro? Right? It's very clear that it's not something that's, okay. Mixed in obvious. Great aeration for the soil. Yeah, 100%. Melty, for me, it feels like this, like you said, whether vegan or vegetarian or Christian or Muslim or completely lost, the intention behind our actions and the conscious awareness of our desires of things are what matters. Absolutely. Hello, Puppy. We make mistakes and we say things that people don't vibe with, but if we generally send it with love, we need not feel remorse over interactions. It makes it easier, bro. Like, I feel remorse is so psychically heavy to carry, right? Like, feeling bad about something, it's heavier carrying that stuff than not generating it in the first place. No, 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 no. No, we're not healthcare professionals. We can't help you find Joy Vive. Is there something? Are you okay? What's up? Today's whole stream topic was inspired by you, right? Like, the reason we're talking about hope today is because of you, Joy Vive. Is that what's happening? You want us to talk about hope more? Do you is there a part of us that feels like we weren't supposed to talk about Dan's job thing? Like, the conversation was getting misdirected, right? Instead of us being attacking of the things that were said, let's get to the core root of why we say the things that we do, right? Why do we have a problem with some things? Why do we reach out and say the things that we do? Like, you have so much power. You can say anything. You can say anything. Why say what you say? If I saw an interaction like that happen here, I'd be quick to say that it's not cool or acceptable directly to the person who said it. I think, did I just do that? Right? Again, it's clear that it wasn't right. Right? I didn't get to read myself some of the messages, but it's clear that that's not okay. That's not something that we want to tolerate in this space. That's not who we are, right? Like we get to be anything. And we can go and, be mean and throw shit at each other in many places on the internet. We try to make sure that this is not such a place, right? And we don't want to ban anybody, right? Like that's going to be the worst case scenario. So, and like that's unfortunately the recourse that we're faced with. I think that we have like timeouts or whatever as well, but ideally we don't have to go there. Ideally, love is true with the things that we choose to say in this space. Eventually there'll be, more moderators as well. Like forced by law, love is true, right? If I look in that message and I don't see love, then I see death. The space, these are the opinions of people that care enough to show up and listen to you. This is a coffee shop / tea house. Yeah, it's true. Hello, beloved friends. Hey, Connor. It's nice having you here. We come here to wake up and love on one another and laugh and smile. And sometimes we work through heavy issues. We come here lovingly, though. This is the intent. It's a hostel for wayward spirits. Let's spiral together into love. Joe, I'm picturing you standing outside a strip club and saying, "We come here to wake up." Cosmic winterness, love again to you, Connor. Dan, sorry, I've been AFK for about half an hour and missed everything. I do agree, you should leave the review. I'm not 100% sure about contacting the CEO, only because I'm not sure what you plan to say. I don't want anything to come back and bite you in the ass. Yeah, like the next job you might be working, they might, take your trying to glass door them as an attack, and then they might attack you back. Right? Again, I'm imagining the space loves you, Dan, and that's the intentions that we have for you, brother Bear. There's no ill intent. Gogo Core sounds like a genre of chocolate anime music. Gogo Core. I actually like that even more. That's kind of hilarious. We're not talking about the same thing, Melt. Sure, plenty of people agreed with my choices of the employer thing, but Joy said something that was straight up an attack on me, and everybody suddenly had not shit to say. I didn't get to see what was said, and clearly it was either removed by our moderators because it wasn't accepted, or it was deleted by Joy Beef herself because there maybe was like a realization that that is not something appropriate. That is not who we are, right? Like, again, if somebody in this space is having a bad day, I don't know if Joy V is having a bad day right now. I can't imagine her having a good day and reacting this way. And they say something that is hurtful. That doesn't mean we're trying to, like that's what the space is about. What attack? There was no attack. Nothing was removed or deleted. There was no message about him being depressed because of this. Like that's the message I read. I would hope for more, dear friends. I hope for more. Plan to say, I don't want anything to come back and bite you. Yeah, hostile. There we go. I don't need validation about my choices. I do need you, Mel, to be serious about maintaining a space of mutual respect. What do you want me to do, Dan? What do you want me to do, bruh? Like, this is the space I've opened, right? That's like, looking at God and being like, hey, God, all of these people sinning down here. How about you smite them? How about you smite all of these sinning people? You created this space, God. These people are sinning. Smite them. No, that's not how it works. Unfortunately and fortunately, that's not how it works. At least that's not the type of person I want to be. I would like to believe that all of us have room to grow. And I would also like to believe that all of us make mistakes. And I would also like to believe that we can apologize for the mistakes that we make. Our words have power, right? And I feel, if anything, we come into this space because it's a space where we can feel seen, understood, we can feel validated, whether or not you want to accept that word Brother Dan, and not feeling validated by one of us, it can feel like a personal attack at the same time. So I get it. I get it. Which you are not doing. That's also not fair, bro. Because I can say the exact same thing, right? Your behavior right now, Dan, is not maintaining. You don't have. I can argue the same. You right now, Dan, are not having mutual respect for this space, right? Because you are making it about you right now and about your experience, and we're looping around it right now. Like it's now a loop thing. We've been talking about this for the last 48 minutes now, right? Which is not very respectful of all of the people that are here with us, right? So with that mindset, I can now be like, okay, now we're gonna ban Dan because he's now making it about himself. But that's not what we're about, right? I don't know what you want me to do. Oh, I've given you the spotlight. What more do you want me to do? I've said that it's not okay. I didn't get to see what happened. I said it's not okay. We celebrated and supported you in this journey. One person was misaligned, right? And there's billions of us, dude. So there's probably more of us that are misaligned right now. What do you want me to do? Like, seriously, bro. Oh, got it, Melt. Peace then. So be it. Like, if there's nothing I can say, then I guess there's nothing I can say. We respect each other as we are. And there are some things we might not like, but it's a part of having open discourse. Nancy, I don't want to imprint the strip club doorman fractal for anyone. It's a funny piece of the picture, and we all deserve to have it as well. Love is true. Thought it'd be trippy to combine the two. Meditation center temple. Say, so I choose banana pancake. Yeah, banana pancake is the best thing to say right now, I think, Connor. Been invisible to some. The thing that was said may have been invisible to some. So, like, there's friends in the chat that also didn't see it, which makes it even more confusing. What attack? There was no attack. Toast, she said that I'm just projecting my depression onto this thing with my last employer. Was that said? Can we have like some confirmation, because I feel like I'm losing my mind. Was that said or not? Spinning emotional chaos, and we're just feeding into it. Yeah, it seems a little bit absurd right now, right? And I did, like, that's where the whole mutual respect, because like this feels like a blatant disrespect of all of our mental energies, right? Like this stream was supposed to be about hope. We're supposed to talk about hope, like the hope for the future, the hope for our species, the hope that we have, as people that choose to come together. And like it getting derailed like this is a little bit disheartening. I'm here. I don't know what's going on because I got here after the fact, but as I heard a Zen teacher say once, is one more thing to let go of. Beautifully added. Thank you, Nancy. Yeah. You know what? With that in mind, I can literally feel the tension that this whole experience has now put in my freaking lower back where I store all my trauma. So I'm gonna let go of it. You know what? I'm gonna smoke weed to let go of it, in fact. That little round. Technically, this is still, it still has enough color to technically go again. Disconnected, but I'm going to clear the chamber. Thank you. Thank you, Strawberry Diesel. And Strawberry Runs for blessing me. I am embracing a new experience with the intention of letting go. One more thing to let go of. To realize that if I hold on to this cactus, it will only hurt me. It will only hurt me. Nobody else will be hurt by the cactus I'm holding on to. Maybe if I swing it at other people, they'll get hurt by it as well. But I'll try not to do that because I am going to let go. You know what? This can be like a mini chamber later. Let go and let strawberry. Yeah, let strawberry. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Honestly, I didn't see anything. We have another, didn't see it. That's pretty damning evidence, bro. With his BS spraying, now he's blaming you, Melt. Yeah, like I was not, like I was like, bro. I was in a bruh state. I am occupying pure bruh right now. Like powerlessness, feeling powerless really makes me angry, right? Love is true. I let go. Doesn't help to continue fractaling on a fractal that we do not appreciate. Yo. There we go. I have let go. Love is true. Open discourse. You just find a middle ground and change the subject. Yeah. I left my tiny handheld pocket vaporizer at my parents' house last month. Told my dad to just leave it in the garage and not to worry. I hope you get it back soon, bro. This kind of sucks, man. That's right. There is how this community reacts to controversy, Doug. Let's change the subject. I mean, if the controversy is something that we are trying to actively generate, then we're going to change the subject. Like the first thing that I did is try to create balance, right? Can we at least agree on that? Like when this whole situation started, I was like, I see Dan's perspective. I also see Joy V's perspective, right? I wasn't trying to demonize anybody. I was trying to understand what was going on. And like I've just felt confused during the whole thing, especially with like this is what was said, and then not there being any messages, and then asking about the deleting messages, and then you friend not seeing it. Like there's just yeah. Love is true, right? We wouldn't be getting riled up about any of this if love wasn't true. Melty, we aren't banning anyone here. Bring on the trolls. I'm pretty sure Sam and Joy are just itching to pounce on some unfortunate soul that stumbles in and starts stirring the pot. Love is true, of course, bro. I asked my mom to bring it by and get it from the garage. She said it's not in the garage. It's on Dad's nightstand. I think it's he thinks it's a TV remote. I was hoping he was using it instead. Joe, that's not appropriate. I'll reflect on it. The trolls comment? More confused. I didn't hear the drama, but I also, by nature, try to make people smile when things get hostile. Had parents that thought it's a coping mechanism. Yeah. I unfortunately also have parents that fight, but I end up just like leaving the room. I tried to get in the way and stop them, but that also didn't seem to help any. Right? Because the fight just start up again as soon as you leave. Of love, multiple employers like that. I had to say in my head that I don't care in order to save myself the flashbacks. Who knows? Maybe all of us were having that experience. I mean, yeah, weirdly enough, I I had that experience, but I completely dissociated to not even think about it. Like I read Dan's message from the perspective of this is something that happens uniquely to Dan, or something that did happen uniquely to Dan. That's how I tried to absorb the information. And from Dan's perspective, I tried to celebrate his attempt in trying to maybe generate more hope from this experience that was potentially bad. But now that you've mentioned the trigger comment as well, thinking back to my previous employer, uh, can't even remember her name. Maybe that's a good thing. I also got scammed, right? But I just got directly scammed out of thousands of dollars, like nine to $10,000. I got scammed out of. I still taught my classes. I still had my students. I just didn't get paid what I was promised. Like, not even remotely, unfortunately. And I also went through that fractal of being in that state of like, I'm gonna try and ruin her life kind of energy, right? Like, and not even knowing how to do that. Like, am I gonna call the police and report her, telling them that she's like exploiting foreigners, English speaking foreigners in her schools? Am I gonna tell them about the money she owes me? I'm gonna tell them about the illegal teachers that she has employed under her. And I was like thinking about like the trauma that it would bring onto all of those employees, because that's also the cascading effect, right? Like even if you succeed at destroying this company who wronged you, there probably still is people employed there, right? If not the people that are employed in the lower paying positions, people employed in the higher paying positions that maybe do different jobs, so it's not as bad potentially or as scummy, hopefully. And like you're like taking that away from people as well. So like it was psychologically and spiritually a big yikes to go through that fractal of hating my previous employer and feeling wronged by her and going through all of this emotional baggage, right? And yeah, maybe feeling that stuff, maybe even subconsciously having experienced that stuff lets us react a certain way, you know. As Zano beautifully said, like the I don't care, to just completely dissociate, or you know, going straight up and saying, you know, that's not important, won't bring you happiness. So yeah, conscious evolution, right? That's what we're here for. That is what's happening right now. Never said it's gonna be comfortable, but it's working, I guess. I'm way behind. My bad. I didn't realize we were in it. My apologies. Love is true, Joe. Don't worry about it. Strawberry can heal a wound. Promise. Don't you dare swing that cactus at me. I'm one cactus swing away from having chips for breakfast. My dog dug up a strawberry patch yesterday's Swampy. It took maximum patience. He destroyed 4 mature plants. Ew, that hurts, Doc. I'm so sorry, bro. I can't believe Dan thought Melt could tell Joy what to do. Yeah. Like if it was anyone else as well, right? If it was Duck Dad or Joe Schmo or Jovan or Sam. Sam, I probably also have a hard time. But yeah, there's no telling, and I don't want to, right? Again, that's not who I am. I'm not the type of person who's like, hey, you, calls out a singular person in this space. You stop being suck. You stop that, right? Because I don't think of any of you friends as suck. I think of all of you friends as yourselves, and you are who you are, right? And this space wouldn't be as beautiful as it is, and I wouldn't have grown as much as I have if you weren't exactly who you are, right? So telling you to stop being who you are, how am I supposed to do that, right? How can you ask that of me? That's not who I am. I cannot play that role. I am sorry. That's why I'll have moderators, right? Having you friends, you can help protect me, because I won't be able to, right? I will let people hurt me. Oh, this hurts. Why is this person hurting me? I just want to hug them. While hugging them, they're like stabbing me with like small knives in the sides. I'm like, oh, this fucking sucks. Maybe if I hug them more, they'll stop stabbing me. Maybe if I hug them harder, they'll stop stabbing me. Maybe if I maybe if I hug them differently, they'll stab me differently. Oh, please. Oh, please, it hurts. My song, Arabian Night. I'm from the 90s. Disney movie Aladdin. Come on in, step inside. It's a good one. The strawberry runs work. I mean, yeah, the strawberry runs is like a sativa strain as well. So it makes me feel super go time kind of vibe as well. I'm really, really fond of it. That's been in my head all morning. The Fractals, that song's a banger. I've got home last night from work and did a happy dance because I got PTO from Friday until January 1. Personal time off. Nice. And work from home today and tomorrow. Love you. Bless you. Nancy, I'm happy that you get to get some time for yourself. Glitch in the Matrix. They did an update. Caught the glitch this time on the solstice. When we prejudice justice against a corporation, we need to keep in mind that individuals made those decisions and it's thought through internal review and investigation that they can be restored. That's why we report incidents like this to HR. That's why we file grievances. Exactly. That's why we were celebrating Dan in him doing that, right? Filing those grievances. And we also acknowledged, right? And I can acknowledge again, with the help of Zana, with the help of Joy Vive, that it's not something that's going to technically bring you happiness, right? There's going to be there's going to be more suffering, technically. Technically, there's more suffering because, as Joy Vive said, you're one using your time, your personal time, right? That you can do anything with, right? You can spend that personal time doing stuff that you love. And then you spend your time doing something that technically you hated, that like caused you discomfort, and now you're like participating in that in the hopes that something will come of it, which is again you hoping for something to be differently. And then when it doesn't end up changing anything, right? That company still continues operating or whatever. It causes a sense of hopelessness potentially inside yourself of like, oh, I have no impact. I can't make a difference. Nah, 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 nah. So I see all of these fractals at the same time, right? And I also see myself being in that position, having some sort of capacity to try and make a difference, to try and help another person. If I could, right, talk to every single person that person who scammed me in China was going to end up talking to, because she's hiring people today, probably, right? She probably is talking to some poor dude right now about some job she has for them in Shanghai. Probably right now that's happening, right? But I can't reach that dude, right? What am I gonna do? Start like again, right? I'll just cause myself suffering. I'll cause myself so much. I'll become so more depressed, deep, deep depressed in this pursuit for what? For what? So I see both perspectives. I do. I do. Love is true. Let people do as they will. Ask them questions. Don't tell them they're stupid. I should get better at that as well. All right, just ask questions. Asking good questions is always nice. Right, both for the people asking and for the person being asked. That's why we report. Yeah, we were confused because there was no attack, no message sent. I think, like, I feel like that has now been established as well. Messages I sent and deleted. I repeatedly told Dan to send his review. You read the messages. I simply said, as LA did that, threatening the CEO. Yeah. What? Or anyone isn't helpful or positive. Yeah, that was also, completely, I think, a misstep. Zano, that makes a lot of sense when that stuff gets glazed over. It's just full of yucky memories. Yeah. It's like something we would rather just not. We would rather just not go there. He took that as an attack and then spread his chaos throughout stream. I feel this the space has a certain energy to it, right? Like when we read someone's message and when we entertain the fractal that they're opening us to. Like I love that terminology because it is fractal in nature, right?
It's fractal in experience, it's fractal in feelings, it's fractal in perspective of where that person is at that point in their lives. It's fractal in our own personal experiences, right? When we think about the corporate world and the way they exploit people, that means something different to every single one of us, right? So that's why I keep trying to teach in this space the level of responsibility, and I hope that I'm showing that. I hope that I really beg the universe to give me the wisdom, and I hope that I am actually playing that role well, you know, showing that I am in fact considering the level of responsibility that I have in being able to say something to you friends, and realizing that that makes you feel something, and that these feelings can take you throughout your day, right? And the significance of being able to talk to you friends individually, it's a lot. It's significant what we're doing here. And yeah, it's hard. It's a hard fractal to become aware of, especially when we're maybe unaware that we're seeking something, right? Maybe just the attention, maybe just the acknowledgement of our own existence. Maybe this space does that. Like I did, like one of the reasons I do this, one of the reasons we show up in this way is as an antidote to loneliness, right? That what we like, what we want as a species, as human beings, is community, like closeness. And this is a way for us to find at least some level of that closeness. We might not be able to completely fill our closeness bar with just this space, right? That's why I still am a big advocate of having good relationships with your family, having personal relationships with your potential neighbors or with friends that live close to you. I think there will be forever value in that. But I hope that if you don't have access to that, if you're in an apartment somewhere in the middle of a city and you feel alone, that this space can reduce some of that loneliness. But unfortunately, when it comes to the way we interact and the way we communicate in the world and the way the world communicates back to us when we output certain information, we might only be trained on how to be angry, how to be negative, how to feel badly about something, and how to talk in that way, right? Like you might, for instance, uh, grow up in a city, right, during that city's financial decline, maybe a major industry left that city as you got born, and then you got to see massive amounts of wealth disappear from the city and joblessness and, you know, the decline of quality of life because of that. So in your mind, you build this whole frame of reference your whole life that things are getting worse, you know, things are falling apart. That's how it is. I've literally seen it my whole life. Things feel bad, things are bad my whole life. I've seen it myself. When in other parts of the world, the exact opposite was potentially happening, and there was a child being exposed to that frame of reference, and they have a completely different set of mind about what the future looks like and about the trajectory that they're on. And depending on the trajectory they've been putting themselves on or that they have been on, right? Like at some point, we have to start taking responsibility, especially as adults, about, yeah, this has been my trajectory, this has been the perspective, this has been the fractal that I've been exposed to my whole life. But now from this moment forward, I'm the one responsible for what I expose myself to, for what thoughts I entertain actively in my own mind, right? And realizing that that responsibility is one that is going to unfold into the rest of our lives. And when it comes to like complaining, for example, right? And I've seen this multiple times. Complaining is pretty easy, right? When it comes to something to talk about and something to get other people to talk about, complaining is a pretty easy, right? Complaining and gossiping, and you know, like that type of energy, almost it's easy to access that, and it's almost like surface level, right? You don't have to think too deep, you don't have to go too deep, you don't have to actually face any responsibility or personal accountability uh, with that kind of like behavior. And it's easier than having a meaningful conversation. It's easier actually paying attention to the other person. It's easier taking full responsibility for how you're perceiving and how you're absorbing the information that other person is sharing with you. And yeah, a lot of us have not been that lucky to have grown up in relationships, be they our familial, our families, be they our friendships, be they our romantic relationships, to actually learn how to communicate effectively. And with the internet, unfortunately, that echo chamber effect ends up strengthening. I hope that that whole little rant made you feel something. Definitely made me feel some things. The responsibility we have, right, with how we speak, the hope I have in being able to say things that will end up serving us going forward, serving the people that I talk to. Serving love. Love is true. Yeah. It's an apple. A lot of sense. Why the stuff get glazed over. Yeah. The whole time. Watch it. You're fine. Love is true. Yeah. Okay, peeps. Going to make some coffee. Be right back. Love you, Nancy. Wanted to put down a timeout. What I did not want was to have the stream revolt and toss me out. Yeah, and like I feel like we did handle it as well as we could. Instead of being reactive and aggressive, I feel like I took it pretty slow. I was like, let me know, let me see the full happening before we make a decision. You help create smiles in my personal world. You inspire new projects in my physical realm, and you open new doors in my spiritual journey. For all of you, I am grateful. Love is true. We're grateful for you too, Brother Dan. Sending you love. Thank you, Brother Joe Schmo, for reminding us. You're a patient host, bro. Thank you, Toast. I have some practice. Like a little bit of practice. I feel still I don't even have nearly enough. Maybe in like 2,000 days, right? 2,000 more days, day 3,084. Maybe then I'll be good. Love rubs us raw. Oh, it can, dude. Love is true, and love is the ocean. Love will melt this world through constant erosion. There are limits to the space. We're not therapists. Boundaries are important. I think it's okay to say, please dial 998 if you're in crisis. I don't think it's even about that, Joy Vive, right? Again, it's about the energy of the space, like the feeling seen, the meaning, the importance, the purpose, right? Like maybe in some way, like this experience of vendetta, right? Revenge against this company is giving Dan a sense of purpose right now, which is something that he might need, right? And any pushback on that purpose, might feel destabilizing. And this space, I would like to believe, does help add some purpose instead of reducing it. We're getting a hedgehog. Oh, it's a para.
Pada. Was die freaking ballistic gegaan vir die Ramadan.
But my sister is freeing a frog, freeing a toad, technically, right? Oh, no, Joy V, that's a reasonable boundary. I'm with you on that one. Love chapped bodies. Love you so hard. Please, I need to pull a card right now. Yes, card time. Card time it is. It's Wednesday, my dudes. It is. I want to see the toad. I just see toad, Chantai. Oh, Pippi is stealing him. Shame. Pippi just casually stole the toad. Mr. Toad. Well, you did see him. You did see him for a second there. Look at Mr. Toad. Toad and Melt. And Pippi near donkey. Pippi is also like, it's a toad. Run for it, buddy. Like, sit him achter my neer dat ek kan sien dat Pippi gaan try vang.
Daarom dink staan jy 'n kans nie. Kyk vir Ivan, hè. Kyk vir
He was like, nah. Holy poops. Such a big dude. I mean,
It's not really that big.
it's not small, but it's not that big.
It's eigenlijk
Hey,
een
dude.
klein in vergelijking met een grotere woord.
Me and Frog staring into each other's eyes.
En Xiaoyu wat net observe.
Sup, Frogger duder. Ik denk nu is lekker voor me en is ongemakkelijk. Dog. No, eigenlijk. En ik zie, ik heb een weinig gestar. Ik heb film met wat is het. It is Wednesday night. I feel you handle it just fine. We don't need to aggressively adjust the world. Fluidity will allow the world to melt together. Absolutely true. I guess it's all. Just silly girl. How much bigger do they get? They'll get like 50% bigger than that. Yeah, like your whole palm will be like their max size. Baby Hedgehog. I thought it was gonna be Baby Hedgehog, like with the way she was like walking up, but it turned out to be Toad. Oh no, don't leave it to Pippi and Shelby. They'll eat it. They're not gonna eat it. Pippi just wants to play. Like that's what she's like. Like I've said this to you friends before. Like a Jack Russell, her species, is the only animal that will annoy another animal to death. Right? That's what they do. Like she'll annoy and annoy and annoy and annoy that frog until it no longer moves. You see, like she's not just going in and like and killing the frog. That's not what's happening. There's just this playful intent. It's like, come on, dude, come on, move. And then it moves, and then she's like, oh yeah, it did move. And then she maybe picks it up and carries it deeper into the grass, and then she puts it down again. And she goes, come on, just come. Why aren't you moving, dude? Come on, move, come on. Look at her little wacky tail. This is the card we pulled. Yeah. Faces of Angkor. I have toads. Holy shit. Oh, it's toads. I have toads. I know. Oh, yeah, no worries. Pippi just tortures. That poor creature is like in a state of mortal fear. It's like, there's a monster trying to consume me alive. And Pippi is like, come on, dude, come on. Dang, I didn't guess. It's okay. Maybe this is the way it's supposed to be. Faces of Angkor. Card number 18. Let's read what it means. Ancient wisdom. Ancient wisdom. I believe ancient wisdom is reason for hope. I'll give you Pippi view while I read. Ancient wisdom. Diamond geometries illuminate the enigmatic faces carved on the Bayon Temple mountains at Angkor. A vastity of sacred architecture in Cambodia. At this temple site, some 37 of 49 to 54 original face towers still stand in silent affirmation of ancient wisdom. Young Buddhist monks enjoy the afternoon light and the glow of the massive meditative portraits. A deep sense of peace and wisdom permeates this ancient sacred space. This card invites you to explore the realms of ancient wisdom. Long held secret, ancient wisdom traditions are becoming increasingly accessible for our exploration. The more we learn about peoples who walked the earth before us, the more fully we may understand our humanness. This card encourages you to investigate any tradition to which you are attracted. There are many to enjoy. Yet, what you are seeking is more than a superficial glance. This may be a time for deeper study Or perhaps it is time, or perhaps it is in your future to make a personal pilgrimage to places where ancient wisdom dwells. Where might you adventure, be it by book or boat, internet or jet plane? Become a seeker of ancient wisdom and witness how it will change your life. Adventure forth with an open heart and mind. Be prepared to learn as much about yourself as you will about those who came before. And just like that, we're done. Huh, puppy? What's that frog? Is that moving anymore? Oh, that frog isn't moving enough for you. What's that frog doing? Eva. Eva kiss. What's Puppy doing? Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. What's up, puppy? What's up, wolf turkey? What's up, Eva? What's up, what chickens? What's up, babberkie babbers? What's up, wolf? Okay. Oh, I need to turn this thing so it has some tension. There we go. All right. We did it. We consciously evolved. You feel that? Yeah? Yeah. That's like the extra layers of DNA activation, of conscious evolutions, of superpowers that you have gained. You have now gained the ability. You have now +1 your hope stat. You have now been given the superpower to feel a little bit more hope in the most hopeless of moments, right? We Kalimbayan, I mean, how could I say no with you asking? So we're 100% Kalimbayan. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Swam, 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 swam. Card feel purple and red. It was very orange, reddish. I think there was like blue like skies and stuff. Batteries are almost dead on my devices too. Maybe. Woo, Melty, this is the shit we do, bro. Literally. And I feel like we're like pursuing ancient wisdom through modern experience, right? It's almost like we're trying to allow ourselves to get to the same points of ancient wisdom by having a modern conversation about like a current problem or something that I've been through, you know, in my day. At least that's the way I interpret it. I don't know if you friends think of it the same. My dog raised her head when Melty was talking to Eva, and I said, yes, someone else is doing dog talk. That's so cute. She was like, what's happening out there? Some dog getting loved? Remind the world that you understand the old word. We are blessed with the task of being interpreters. So many ways to interpret as well, right? That these melodies that I'll play right now could have technically been played before by humans who came before, right? And me playing them could help us reactivate some of those memories of the people that you've been. So, with that in mind, let's listen. 3 minutes and 33 seconds. And just like that, our stream has come to its end. Let me share some more of that. Now that's some high quality light right there. Tasty looking light. If I could snap myself a little piece of that light, I would consume it. I would eat it whole. I would imagine it tastes like oranges. Nice and crisp and flavorful. Let me read our final few messages and then we'll say goodbye. We know the old ways because that knowledge resides in our souls, even in our DNA, bro. Laying dormant and waiting for rain. Do that, so that it may bloom once again. The transition will commence. It's already upon us, Brother Bear. I believe we're already in the sprouting phase, man. Maybe even saplings. Maybe all we need to do right now is grow strong. Is that Brian that I'm seeing in chat right now? Brian Griga. I see a new profile picture as well. Have a great day too, dear friend. It's nice seeing you here. We're just about finishing our stream so we can read our Shanified Joe message. Joeified Shan message. Yeah, if not, why not both? Have the most enchantingly splendid day, everyone. You're for really realsers, so very massively, muchly macho, grando, lovingly considered, mannerly Meltmore, and all of you, oh so very significantly, sublimely, astonishingly, playfully, benevolently, endearingly, ecstatically, whimsically, fervently, ethereally wholesome, humanimal critter creatures, unwavering in the projection of hope. As we love you, dear Zhao, thank you for projecting hope into my mind. As I was reading your message, I was just like going through this experience of being so blessed that I get to mental gymnastics and evolve mindfully by reading all of those words. Feels like I'm expanding my vocabulary and my brain is growing big. Love is true. It was so nice having all of you here. Thank you for carrying the Shan torch. It is truly a blessing being able to get blessed by all of these adjectives all at the same time, getting absolutely washed. I miss Shannon. Me too, dude. It's been a little bit more than 3 weeks now. I have been counting the days. Yes. Gosh, I miss her bigly. Whew, I have hope. Yeah. Cherry on top of the hope cake that we talked about today. I have hope that there will be a day when there will be unity. So much, 3 weeks. It's rough, bro. Love is true. I'll see you friends again real soon. Thank you for joining me. We'll be back here again. If not all of us, at least some of us, tomorrow. Goodbye, dear friends. Have hope. I'll see you again soon.